Ada, what are you doing?
I'm reading out more about secondary school subjects and their schemes of assessments. I want to be more prepared when I go on to secondary school next year.
Very good girl.
Oh, this is interesting. I didn't know that there'll be fewer components tested for English in secondary school. It must be easier to score then.
Well, I don't think so. You should look up more and find out what secondary school papers are testing before you jump into conclusion.
Hi everyone, it's good to see you again. For freshly graduated Primary 6 students, congratulations! You've achieved a great milestone and I hope you're taking time to have your well-deserved rest. Moving on to secondary school may be daunting as you may not be sure of what it entails. But I'm sure no matter what secondary school you're posted to, it will be a rewarding and an eye-opening experience. Now, for today's video, I'll be explaining 3 differences between primary and secondary school English. I've previously written a blog post about the scheme of assessment for O and NA level English, so if you're keen to read out more about it, you can click on the link in the description box. Firstly, in secondary school English, there will be fewer components tested. Yay! However, before you rejoice, the marking will actually be more stringent and the questions are more demanding. Let's look at this table for a breakdown of the examination paper format. As you can see from this table, students will no longer be tested on grammar, vocabulary, sentence construction, etc. in silos. However, that does not mean that these aspects are not important. To score well for secondary school English paper, students are expected to have already attained good foundational skills in their primary schools. Even though there will not be explicit instruction of grammar, students will have to construct and present their ideas with accuracy at the secondary level. This will require students to write well-structured sentences with minimal grammar errors. Another difference you can expect at secondary school is that there will be an increase in the prominence of language for impact questions. Now, what exactly is a language for impact question? Let's take a look at an example of a simple description first. The chair creaked when Miss Cynthia sat on it. Note how this is a simple description of what happened when Miss Cynthia sat on the chair. The chair protested when Miss Cynthia sat on it.
Ouch!
Language for impact questions aim to have an effect or influence on the reader. In this example, the description is more impactful and aims to let the reader know that Miss Cynthia was heavy. This was achieved through the use of the word protested, which means the chair objected to being sat on by Miss Cynthia. This technique of giving human trait to something that's non-human is called personification. So this is an example of how language can be used creatively to enhance writing. Now, let us read an excerpt adapted from the story To the Moon by Ken Liu. Summer nights in Beijing were brutal. Hot, muggy, the air thick as the puddles left on the road after a shower, covered in iridescent patches of gasoline. We felt like dumplings being steamed, slowly, inside the room we were renting. Outside, the sidewalk was filled with the droning of air conditioners from neighbors who had them. We were not so lucky. I would carry the crying baby out of the house on my shoulders, back in, and then out again countless times. I begged for her to sleep. Now, let's take a look at 2 examples of language for impact questions. Question 1. Why did the first-person narrator describe his experience of being in the house like dumplings being steamed slowly? This is a suggested answer. He probably wanted to emphasize the stifling heat he was feeling in the house, just like how dumplings would be cooked slowly with heat. This question is testing the student's ability to draw a comparison between the simile, like dumplings being steamed slowly, and how the narrator was feeling. This is the second question. I would carry the crying baby out of the house on my shoulders, back in, and then out again countless times. I begged for her to sleep. What is the intended effect of using the word begged? This is the suggested answer. The intended effect was to make the readers pity the first-person narrator, for he seemed very helpless in handling his crying baby who refused to sleep. So this question is testing the student's ability to recognize the writer's intention through his choice of words. So, see how the questions for a secondary school paper can actually be more demanding and will require a deeper analysis of the text. This would also require a very good understanding of how meaning is conveyed through the writer's choice of words. The third point that I'm going to share with you is that secondary school English curriculum will also have a greater emphasis on critical thinking. Yes, your personal response is valued. In this day and age, it is no longer sufficient for students to just be passive receivers of information. With greater access to information, we will need to teach our students to be more discerning and analytical about what they read or see. Can you imagine bringing up a generation of children who read and believes everything that they read or see on social media? So, what exactly is critical thinking? It is more than just a mere acquisition of knowledge and facts. It is also about being able to question, analyze, and evaluate information. For example, in the classroom, teachers will engage in more real-world discussions with the students and elicit more personal responses from them. Let's take a look at paper 1 for example. There will be less focus on narrative writing at the secondary level. Teachers will spend more time on genres such as argumentative or expository text. This is an example of an argumentative essay question. It will require the students to take a stand and craft well-justified personal responses. Hence, practices in the classroom would shift to help students pick up key critical thinking competencies. I have come to the end of my video. I hope that this video has provided you with some useful insights on the differences between primary and secondary school English. Of course, there are many other differences that I have not talked about, but I think this is for you to discover when you go to a secondary school. Thank you and I hope to see you again. Bye!